Hey everybody, welcome back to Super Derek Streams, the only show on the internet where Baku and I talk about RPGs in our JRPG news show, our niche news show, our anime news show, basically anything that Baku and I feel like talking about, we're going to be talking about it. And Baku, we got some stuff to talk about today. It is a wild and wacky, messed up world out there, and we're gonna take it to task over the course of today's topics of discussion. How are you been, man?
I'm doing great. I went to a Malaysian place in DC for brunch. It was a drive, but man, the food was just delectable, and the bill wasn't too bad either.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely had a lot of fun, man. How about you? How was your weekend?
Oh, it's been a weekend, all right. I was talking to you a little bit about this, but this weekend I was working on my e-bike. I have an Aerial Rider D class, and I really like it. It's got dual hub motors and it goes pretty quick. But
Ooh.
um I installed some new handlebars on it to get it nice and low. And as I was riding around downtown last night, just kind of enjoying life and living my best life. Uh, the display cut out on me, and I don't know why. And I need to get in contact with their tech support. So hopefully things can get sorted out.
You know what I was going to say is because I didn't say because I knew that we're gonna come back to this topic. What are you compensating for, sir? You're already so super cool, right? You're already super Derek. What are you compensating for? Why are you riding these bikes, man?
I
And
need to
going
go
fast?
outside,
Excuse me,
and
like just
I need reasons to go outside. And I figure if I had a really fun bike to ride around on, that would actually, it would get me out more, and it has for the last like month and a
why
half
can't
or
you just
so.
be like a normal person like the rest of us? Just take a stroll on our feet and just
Uh,
walk outside
I
and
mean,
just why you
it's
gotta be so extra? Why you gotta be like this?
well.
Look at my
Anyways,
bike.
I don't know. I never. It's hot out, and I'd much rather have the wind going through my mane or over my helmet, as the case may be. Anyways, so today, guys, we will be answering questions and comments from super chats. At the end of today's episode, we'll be talking about rumors and previewing trailers and talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you're new here and if that sounds interesting, continue listening, and we'll hopefully take a look at some other stuff. But we'll also take a look at comments from last week. But before we do, I do want to remind everybody that our typical schedule is every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And man, it's been pretty nuts.
You know what I've got to say? Like I was saying this to Derek before we started the show, but I'm like, man, there are people actually like waiting because we can see like people waiting. Like so the few of you who are like waiting for us to start a show, thank you. It just means so much when I just like log on. I'm like, wow, it's like 20 minutes until you know our usual time, and you're just like waiting
I
for it.
know.
And so to you guys, like we owe this show to you all. Thank you.
That gets me so hyped
For
every single
right,
time. It's like, yes,
right,
I'm ready to do the
right.
show.
Heck yeah.
Oh
Thank
man.
you.
By the way,
Okay.
Baku, what have you been doing this week? As far as like streaming and making videos, and what have you been up to today or
Oh,
this week?
geez. Okay. Yeah, it's been a little rough. So I'm still trying to finish Persona 4 Golden. We're now in
Ooh.
September.
Ooh.
So I don't know
Mhm.
what that means.
Uh-huh.
We're just started September. I'm hoping I can finish it by next week. This Saturday, so yesterday, I did my first sponsored stream.
Oh.
Fudu
Uh-huh.
reached out, and they wanted a review on the Caligula Effect 2, which
Ooh.
is actually really good. It's made by some of the mastermind behind Persona. It's got
Yeah.
music from folks who worked on Persona. They really used to see the email. They like really pitched it like, oh yeah, this is Persona, but like not Persona. I played a game. It's actually pretty good. I'm very intrigued. The music's amazing. It's a little low budget side, but that's to be expected. But the gameplay is super interesting for turn based. I haven't quite seen anything like it. If I have to explain it, what it's like a video editor on Premiere suddenly decides to like make a battle system based off of like video editing. It's wild.
Okay.
It's weird. Yeah, I know.
That's
Yeah, I don't
You've
know how
got my
else to explain it.
interest.
Yeah, no, you should see it, man. It's really cool. So that's what I've been doing. I'm also working on a new Weeb Sauce video, which is a channel that we just started over in YouTube, and it's growing quite nicely. So thank you for those of you who came by to say hello. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. What about you, man? Aside from working on your bike, what have you been up to?
Well, I did actually. I followed through on my promise. I told you guys last week, when we did our stream on Thursday, that I was like, I was under the gun. No, we did it on Wednesday, Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday.
We did it on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I had,
Yeah.
and I ended up releasing it on Friday, as I was hoping. But man, it was
Mhm.
not easy to put that together. Especially because I can't
Mhm.
just crap out a normal top 10 like everybody else. I'm like, I want to write a script for it all, and I want to put appropriate footage to everything. It's like, why can't I
Mhm.
just make low effort content sometimes?
It's high quality content, man. You gotta. It's gonna take time.
I
That's
know.
just what it is.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I like it. I like the way it came out, and it looks like a lot of people really enjoyed it too. That's the 10 things that we need in a new Breath of Fire game, and actually it gained a lot of traction. A lot of the Breath of Fire fan base actually kind of got on board and kind of helped spread it around. And huge thank you to everybody who did. So if you haven't seen that episode, well, be sure to check it out. Now,
I'm really hoping that this. I mean, any kind of traction we can have to get a new Breath of Fire,
no,
just
I
like
know.
you know, come
Yeah,
on, Capcom,
I
come
know.
on.
So, and we actually have some games later that we're going to talk about, or a game later that I think has some similarities even to the Breath of Fire series, but I think we'll talk about that in a
Oh,
little bit.
okay.
In the meantime, Baku, what would you say is this week's top headline, huh?
Oh, geez. Okay. So a little heavy, okay. A little somber news. But the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated, which was a huge deal
Yeah.
in Japan, of course, because not only because a former prime minister was gunned down, but the fact that the murder weapon was a gun in Japan, where they have basically less than 10 deaths per year, is frightening
Yeah.
for the people there, of course. But that's not quite our headline. Our headline is related to it though, and it involves one such Hideo Kojima. You'll find out later why he's involved.
God, what a weird story that will be.
Hideo Kojima.
I know.
It's just
Catch a break.
you'll see
I
you'll see
know.
why he's involved. Okay.
So, but before we do, let's go ahead and take a look at a comment from last week that I pulled up from Omar G, who says that at least half of collectors are going to keep their collector's editions sealed and double dip on the game either physically or digitally to play it. Because of that, I don't see many companies switching over to what Nintendo is doing with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, meaning, shipping the game and then the collector's edition portion of that separately in order to boost their sales numbers. And I got some thoughts on that too. But Baku,
Mhm.
what's your first blush response to that sort of thing, huh?
I don't see why. I mean, I so to Omar, who thinks that people collectors will keep the collection edition sealed and double dip. I agree. But also I just think that, if that's what they want to do, then they could just buy that separately anyway. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
the
he's saying that they are doing it in order to boost sales, though, as what I can see.
Yeah,
So, like,
so
if you're selling, so I guess from this perspective, if you
mhm,
are buying the collector's edition and then the game separately,
mhm,
then you are therefore selling two copies of the game. Whereas if your collector's edition has the game inside of it,
mhm.
then you only sell one copy.
No, I think if that's my intention, let's say I'm that collector,
Hmm.
right? Let's say that they do split it up. There is a, which by the way, remind me to talk about the God of Wars thing, because that's
Okay.
that's another one recently. But let's say that they have like a separate like limited edition package that's separated from the game that you can
Hmm.
just buy, right? Commemorating the release day. I would. buy that and a copy of the game to go with that, and then a copy of a game for myself to
Yep.
play.
Because I was gonna say,
So
if you want a sealed
it wouldn't
copy, you buy a
change.
second
Yeah.
sealed copy.
That doesn't change my behavior. If I'm that collector, I'll
Mhm.
still have a sealed copy of the game just to go with that collection anyway. Now, of course, there you can make an argument to say, hey, well, yeah, but there are people out there who perhaps will just buy the collector edition, not buy the physical copy, and then just buy like a digital copy. That's fair. And I see, you know, that issue, but on the counterpoint to that, because you're doing it this way, the savings and logistics might actually be worth it, especially in now, because uh, it's the logistics right now.
Mhm.
I don't want to like overstate it, but it's compounding.
Oh, yeah.
Every parts, every time you need to move something, you need to add a part to a thing,
Yep.
all the prices just increase like exponentially.
So
They're
you're
they're
saying here
compounding.
that,
Yeah.
like, moving the actual physical copy of the game to where the collector's edition will be packaged together, there's a cost associated with that. That just
Correct. And
Mhm.
yeah, and any cost savings is an extra dollar earned. So yes, while you can make more money, it might cost you that much more to do. So I don't have any real numbers with me right now.
Oh, sure.
Otherwise, I would just look at a spreadsheet and I'll point it at you. But you know, like in my mind, you know, having done import exports in my past life, I can't understate how crazy it is right now to move things around globally right now. It's expensive,
Yeah.
and to time it all together and put it in a single package for you, it's really rough. It's really rough.
Yeah. And one of the
Yeah.
other things that I was going to also mention in this, because I think you spoke to the logistics side of things, literally speaking,
Yeah.
and I'd like to speak to the motive that Omar tried to ascribe here to companies, like as far as like, oh, it boosts their sales, and by not including, or by including it in the thing, and if you have a second copy, then you have effectively sold two copies.
Mhm.
And that's, there might be some hint of truth to that, but on the scale that people
Mhm.
buy physical collectors copies of games, how many physical collectors editions do you think that they ever make of
Right,
any particular
yeah.
game, and how many collectors out there? I mean, that's the thing. We are a dedicated fan base, but we are a
Mhm.
small fan base,
Yeah.
generally speaking. And the collectors who would do such a thing, where they go out and actively seek out a collector's edition of a game, a special edition with all the extras and everything thrown in.
Mhm.
Um, I think that the percentage of us out there is probably close to like, mm, gosh, maybe generously 5%.
No, I agree, I agree. So I think I think, and I have no basis, this is totally anecdotal, but I think out of all the, you know, possible sales, let's say a game sells 1,000,000 unit, okay?
Hmm.
500,000 of that unit is probably digital sale or some kind
Yeah.
of Game Pass. Another 500,000 would be physical sale. Of those, 10% would be like the premium collector edition.
Yeah.
So when you add it all together, it's about 5%, half of 10. So I think 5% is probably pretty accurate.
Now, I would
But
say, yeah,
yeah.
if somebody could boost their sales instantly by 5% by, including a copy of the game in the digital, gosh, like, I'm sure that they would probably do it, but there, like Baku was saying, is a cost associated with that. And is that offset by the extra logistics involved? Is a 5% boost in sales worth the extra 5% increase in costs? Like, it's hard to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. It's
Uh,
hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm not denying it. You know, I'm not denying. I'm not like disagreeing with it. And in fact, for the most part, I agree with Omar. But yeah, I'm just not sure if that's enough to motivate them to not try to do this, given the way that logistics are working today. But also, did you hear about God of War? Like people are in an uproar right now.
no,
Like I
I
don't
have not. I
do.
live under a rock.
Yeah, so God of War, they're releasing like a $200 special edition thing with like a hammer and everything is super cool, but the collector edition does not give you a physical game, it gives you a download code, and people are like livid. That the $200 thing only gives you a digital code.
Okay, so if the code is accessible without opening the collector's edition, I would be on board with that. Like if you could look at the back and you have the download code there and you can just type it in and you can use it, that's awesome. I would love that. Then I could have my sealed copy and I could play my digital copy of the game, without, yeah, I feel like that would be pretty okay. But if it's just a little slip of paper that's been tucked inside of the collector's edition and you have to break the plastic seal in order to actually use it, I'd be miffed about that. It depends on how they do it.
Well, I mean, like we were saying, hey, some people buy collector's edition sealed because maybe in the future they might resell it. It's a thing. People buy things, they'll buy a double just as an investment, even, and you would absolutely do that. And when you have a digital version, it just doesn't have the same weight, right? Because we all know that digital version is really just a lease.
Yeah, it really
right?
is.
And so if the server ever goes down, ever, like 10, 15 years from now, the server goes down, you can't download the game. That code is useless. And
If
not to
a
mention
if a company that made the game decides, we don't want you to have access to that game anymore. Wasn't it Ubisoft who was recently in hot water over that?
Yes, Ubisoft. Yep.
They're just like,
I think so. I think it's Ubisoft. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, some codes will have like a limited time before when you can redeem it. Like, you
limited
can
window?
redeem it. Yeah, like a limited window. Like, oh yeah, you have to redeem it within like 2-3 years, say, right? If I have to be generous.
Okay.
And then what? And then what? Right? Then what? So so that code inside in that seal package, that's not going anywhere. So I don't know. But so there are just so many different kinds of collector's edition. I think some are just great and some are not so good. It's hard to sort of just put them all together and be like collector edition, period. You know, like every game, every company just does something different. Sometimes they're really worth it to you. Sometimes they're just like not worth it at all. There's just so many varieties, and I kind of like seeing the creativity that goes in, and hopefully the companies just won't do like the same old, the bare basic, just to have a limited edition, just to say that they did it. So hopefully it won't go stale. I do appreciate the whenever they do something that talks to the fan base. Maybe there are some in jokes, like those are always fun.
Yeah.
So all right,
So,
that's my thought on it.
Thank you, Omar, for that awesome
Omar.
message there. It's a lot of fun to talk about. And if you guys have anything that you'd like us to respond to, drop a comment in the video after we're done recording it. We always go back and read, and I do my best to give out hearts to the awesome comments and thumbs up, and do something to acknowledge or respond to the awesome comments out there. So be sure to do so. I know Weeb Sauce is out there doing the same thing, so much appreciated.
Yeah, by the way, anyone who sees Weeb Sauce out there, that's actually just me. I try to engage, and have some discussions. This past week has just been crazy, so I haven't really done that, but I'll promise I'll do better. So if you just want to hang out and chat, just want to have some discussions, definitely the comment section is where is that.
Yep. Oh, yep. Also, if you'd like to have a more guaranteed way of having one of your questions answered on the show, you can also leave us a voicemail at 785-337-3805, or you can send us a voice file over at HitPoint at SuperDerrickRPGs.com, and we'll play it on the air and we'll respond to it. Otherwise, you could also just throw some super chats at us, and we'll respond to those at the end of every episode. So. Right. Also, quick PSA. I know we've mentioned it a few times before, and anybody who's probably asking about it already hasn't made it this far into the video, but I will say that timestamps take time, and those will usually show up within a few days. And if they're not there yet, and if you need them, just wait longer.
or wait until this show. You know what you can do is just like share this thing to anyone you know, get us a lot of views, right? And then we can like make some substantial money and hire like a college intern who would just do the timestamp for you. In which case, Derek and I will quit our jobs and we'll just do the podcast like full time. That's the dream, right? But
That would be pretty
until
rad.
such day comes, please just give us at least 24 hours before you start asking.
Yeah,
We have a day job the next day that we need to sleep for.
I know.
So
I go to
and
bed.
after work.
I go to bed
Yeah.
after every up, and then in the morning I have a work to do, and then afterwards, maybe if I'm not super tired, I put on timestamps.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. But
so
we'll get it. Okay.
moving along though, yeah, let's take a look at some of the upcoming games that are coming out this week. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So some release reminders for all of you. Now, all the games that we're going to talk about right now, that's going to release between this show and the next show. So next week, okay? Stray, the cat game that everyone is raving about.
I know, it looks
will
so
be
good.
Released. It does. I don't even like cats because I'm allergic. Well, I like cats, but my nose doesn't like cats.
Hey, digital
Anyways.
cats are
Digital cats are perfectly
totally fine. Yeah.
So that's released digitally in July 19th on PS4, PS5, and PC. There is actually going to be a physical copy of Stray, and that's going to come in September 20th. So if you really want a digital copy of Stray, just wait until September, and that's going to be $40 US. There will also be something called an I Am 8-Bit exclusive edition. That's going to be $5 more. So collector edition kind of, but only for $5 more. But that's also going to come in sometime in Q4 of this year. So if you really can't wait, you just want to play digital, that's next week. But if you can wait for it, you really want that limited edition, stick around, stay tuned. That's going to be towards the end of the year.
Awesome. Also, later on this week, we've got Final Fantasy Origin expansion called The Trials of the Dragon King, which is coming out on the 20th of this month here. It's going to come with 3 new jobs, including Evoker, Pilgrim, and Summoner. So that's going to be coming out on all platforms. So if you've already got Final Fantasy Origin, it's probably coming to your platform.
Yes, right. We've got a River City Saga 3 Kingdoms. That's coming July 21st, 2020. This year on PS4, Switch, and PC. Just a quick reminder, that's the game that you can do like multiplayers on, so that's really fun. Koromon Switch port is also coming out on that same day, July 21st of this year. So definitely keep your eyes out on that if you haven't got a chance to play Koromon, which is actually interesting, right? Because Koromon is
that's like the Pokemon spinoff, right?
Yeah,
or not
and then
spinoff, but like the
inspired
the
game,
GoBots
let's say?
version.
Yeah, and then Nintendo's like, yeah, sure, just have it on the Switch. Why not? Yeah,
Why not?
we ain't scare of you.
I know they're not going to
Do
put
your
Pokemon
worst.
in there, but as I recall,
Yeah.
that had gained quite a bit of traction once upon a time when it first came out. And
It did. And I'm not sure if people are happy with the game, not happy because I haven't really looked into the reviews. It is immediately available on PC, so if you want to play Chroma, you don't want to wait, you don't want to play on the Switch, that's fine. Like it's on PC, but otherwise, yes, if you're just waiting to play a Pokemon alternative on your Nintendo device, July 21st.
awesome. Also coming up here, we have the Live Alive remake. The demo is already live, and if you're playing that, your save
Yes.
files will carry over into the full game. That is coming out on the 22nd, only on the Nintendo Switch. So make sure you, for now. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, look, Tactics. I mean, not Tactics Square. The Octopath Travelers on PC, right? So
That's right.
one can hope they'll come to PC, perhaps following those footsteps, like a time limited exclusive, hopefully.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, hey, if it doesn't get in or get out.
But
you remember that was an old Nintendo slogan from like back in the 64 era, I think, wasn't it?
Is it really?
It really was.
It's been
a million
years ago.
It was not a great one.
Well, wait, hold on. Is the Sega the one that's like do what Nintendo don't?
Yeah, Genesis does. Sega does what Nintendo don't.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah.
That was I liked it. It's so 90s.
I know
about it.
Sega was
so
such a masterclass of console wars. I think it was
right?
because of Sega that we even have console wars at this point, because like they're like, I have an idea. Let's pit our gamers against their gamers and just have them duke it out in order to entrench themselves in their brand loyalties. It's like, come on,
Yes. Yes, I kind of like it. Oh well, to some extent.
Mhm.
Okay. Last but not least, we've got ourselves a Capcom Arcade Second Stadium. That's coming out on the 22nd on PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and PC. That is the Capcom Arcade game that you can buy as a bundle, or you can buy them each individually. So check out previous podcasts to see what those games are, and see if that's something that you're interested in.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, so moving on, we've got some new game announcements. That's what you're really here for, right?
That's what I'm here
We've
for.
got well, that's what I'm here for too. So we've got one such game called the Diofield Chronicle. I know we talked about this last week already, but when we did talk about it last week, the trailer wasn't available yet, which was a shame. But that's only because we had like an earlier show. Had we had the regular time show, we would have had that trailer. So let's take a look at that trailer that we would have seen last week, this week.
All right.
Yes. So this one is going to feature like gameplay and whatnot. So that's why I'm like interested in looking at it with you and
In a
see what you think.
world where the righteous one does not hold power.
We are the Blue Foxes. Perhaps you've heard of us.
That new mercenary group based in Central Field.
This will be the Blue Fox's first long-distance deployment. Expect a major battle.
I mean, we've seen
About 50 of them
a
are
Diofield trailer before, but
5,000
Yes, but this is
Not
like
quite
going to
like
have some
this.
gameplay trailer. Yeah,
Their aim is to
there you
break
go.
our lines, but we will stand firm to the bitter end.
This is definitely the more like strategy.
oh yeah.
You know, not like tactical, like not the grid base. Tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of like how you would imagine a D&D game would be played in some sense,
Yes.
but like with war.
But in kind of
Right.
real time. Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of
Yes.
like what you're saying is maybe like a tabletop RPG, like Warhammer 40K or something like that, maybe.
The terms they proposed were simply unacceptable. True shame.
This is a predicament of your own man.
Baku, I appear to have lost your camera.
Well prepared. All I wish for is to keep fighting alongside you.
I appear to have lost Baku.
Our time will come. We must.
Have you lost me?
Oh.
Period.
You are back now, but your camera's
I
still
am
gone.
back.
Lend me your strength.
Oh, it's too much.
That is
I simply
strange.
can't resist any longer.
That has made me realize that I have lost sight
Hold
of
on.
what I am fighting for.
Surely
No, I
you
still
know
see
it's the
me.
kind of
Hang on.
ordinary
Wanna try that
people
again?
How did you come to be
Sure.
so well versed?
Yeah, I added to a browser and I see my camera though.
We must be united
Weird.
against the Empire.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at my camera in a browser.
Not obvious. We
Like
must
that link?
bring the traitor
All
to
right.
justice.
So what will he believe in?
Oh, that's the first time that's happened.
That is a first.
Yeah. All right. Well, while that is being worked on, what do you all think of that? I'm sure some people are interested. Some people are like, meh, I don't even care about strategy games. Some of you guys are like, this looks amazing. Some of you guys are like, oh, this is disgusting. I'm sure. I don't even need to look at chat. I already know.
I think that the
Actually,
trailer
no.
looked pretty awesome, actually.
They're
Do
not
we-
even talking about the game. They're talking about me missing.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm back. Hey,
I got him back.
hello, I'm back. Yay!
That was close, everybody. We nearly had to do a show without Baku, and man, that could have been terrible. That would have
Well,
been terrifying. Thank you. Thank you for coming back.
You would just
Baku.
have like voice only.
Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I before I couldn't say anything about the game before because I like the fact that there's a new strategy game from Square Enix. I like
Yeah.
the fact that there's a new strategy game at all because I like strategy sort of RPGs. I like tactical. I like grid based. I like non-grid based. I like SRPG.
Mhm.
And so the fact that Square Enix is willing to take a chance on it, like never mind turn-based. You think turn-based is dead? Strategy RPG is dead according to game developers. Okay,
Yeah.
obviously I think
Obviously,
strategy RPGs are great.
we love them, but that doesn't
Yeah,
mean that they're
but
necessarily like. I mean, they're kind of going the way of, I would say, the fighting RP, or the fighter, right? Like Street
yeah, like
Fighter and
action.
like
Street Fight. Yeah, go in the way of like fighting games. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. This
or
is so niche,
they're a
right?
lot more niche. Now
Yeah.
the benefit of like the fighting games, like you've got your main ones, you know, your Street Fighters, your Tekken, and, you know, and you've Smash Bros, I guess, this
Mhm.
the really huge one right now.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
it's also people who like those, they'll continue to play it forever, right? So you'll
Yeah.
sell one every, you know, 5 years or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so
it's
strategy RPG is it's got this bad reputation of being just long and drawn out and boring and difficult and like all the
and awesome.
things that doesn't say fun. Now, of course, I don't think any of those is true because I love strategy RPGs. One of my favorite games, Tactics Ogre, and that's never going to change.
Why do you
But you know
hate
that.
why do you hate strategy RPGs, Baku? Come on.
You know, well, see now people gonna take that out of context and
I
they're gonna
know.
be like, "Oh, you hate," you know, but of course, most people don't think, you know, they're fun, especially you know some of the younger folks coming up, they probably don't think it's fun. So I think the fact that they're taking a chance on it, I already give them some you know credit for you know putting money in, and you know it's not exactly like a I mean, I don't know how much they're spending, but it's at least like a double A,
Mhm.
right, sort of production. So they're not exactly cheaping on it either, at least from what I'm seeing so far. Only time can tell because I need to see the actual game. But now that I'm seeing the combat, actually a little bit more excited
Yeah,
than
I
before
agree.
because I like that they are trying something different. They're not doing grid based. Grid based is tried and true. Everyone knows grid based. Grid based works. This is different. They're trying to come with something completely different, which is kind of like real time, but with like a little slow down, so that
Mhm.
like you can kind of think about it a little bit for people who are like not all StarCraft like geniuses out there who can just
Kind
like
of
do
reminds me a little bit
10
of
calculations, you
you
know?
remember VATS from Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4
Mhm.
especially is kind
Oh
of what
yeah, 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 yeah,
where
yeah,
you go
yeah.
into VATS mode and time kind of
Uh-huh.
slows down to a crawl, but it doesn't quite pause.
Yes.
That's kind of what that
Yes.
reminds me of.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You're right. That is what that reminds me of. Yeah, but with tabletop games. So
Mhm.
hey, if you're a fan of tabletop games, like this could be like something that you can sink your teeth in. So yeah, it just handles all the you know the calculations for you, right? But in
Yeah,
essence, you're still playing that sort of game. Also, no painting. You know,
that's
no
right.
painting, individual pieces. But yeah, so check that out. You've seen the trailer. The game is coming out September 22nd because man, this year is packed. Releasing on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Switch, and PC. So basically
Phew.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we
All
have
right.
another game that was also announced that I think is going to be really exciting to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It's a sequel to the 2021 RPG FUGA Melodies of Steel. It's called FUGA Melodies of Steel 2, and it's being released by CyberConnect 2. And it's part of like this larger overarching story that they, or universe rather, that was kind of started
Mhm,
by the Tail Concerto. I think that's
mhm.
how you say it, Tail Concerto,
I think so.
on PlayStation 1.
Concerto? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
Italian or
concerto or
something.
something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not a music major, uh,
Neither am I.
but basically,
Someone's gonna grill us in the chat very soon.
they have like a musical theme, I guess you could say, pun not intended there, that kind of
Mhm,
connects them all, as well as all of the anthropomorphized characters and such. So
mhm,
there's not
mhm,
really been any information that's been given to us at this time about this game specifically, but there
mhm.
is a teaser site set up for the game that says that there will be more news available on the 28th,
Yes.
which coincides with when the series 1 year anniversary starts on their stream. So
Yes.
we are expecting more information during said live stream over on YouTube. Links are in the description, or will be in the description. Once, if you're interested in watching those, you'll find them after the show. Now, FUGA is a very unique turn-based RPG that follows a group of anthropomorphic cats and dogs who are like orphans who must find a way to rescue their parents who have been captured by the Empire. So
That's right.
we could take a look at the trailer for the first game if you're interested.
Yeah, just to give, because I saw the chat earlier, and a lot of people are like FUGA 2.
FUGA
So
2.
some people know what it is, but I think some people might not know what that is. So I think taking a look at that trailer,
I gotta be
is
honest,
going to help a little bit.
I was not expecting a FUGA 2, and we can talk a little bit about that after the trailer here.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So
this
again,
is
just to remind everyone, this is
a trailer
FUGA
for
1.
FUGA 1. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the tale
It'll give you a sense of what we're talking about.
and the tyrannous
Look at that
awaken
art.
of ancient
Isn't that
lands
cool?
that
I
will change their
know.
fates forever. Born
Like,
of the giant
I feel like this is an example of, I think they do use some of the paper doll mechanics or for the illustrations, but I feel like it works a bit better in this game with like the tanks and stuff.
Yeah, because it's more mechanical, right?
Yeah,
like
you're not expecting them to like bend and stretch, you know, because
the
they're
way that a person would. Yeah.
Right.
Or an organic person or being would,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
interact with each other and strengthen their bonds.
And that actually looks pretty solid also, even in that
yeah.
perspective.
Go on
Oh, this is a 2021 game, all right. I mean, it just looks so good.
monsters, evade dangerous traps, and find
So I'm kind of interested in checking this out. So
Yeah, I
the
mean,
sequel,
even
the
the
follow-up,
movement here looks pretty good.
yeah.
Like the people movement. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, so I was saying, yeah, the game that was just announced is the sequel to this, which is pretty interesting. Because, and I guess I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about it right now. Anyway, I've heard from a lot of people that unfortunately this game that we're showing the trailer for right now did not recoup its expenses for CyberConnect 2.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, that is something that a lot of the fans of the game have really been kind of pushing for it because they want to see more of this, right? And they're really cheering on this. This is a really an underdog story. Of a developer and the games, and the fact that they have a sequel coming out, it surprises me. But I think that this is part of a trilogy. I think that they had announced that they would be doing. So they may have already been deep into
in
developing this
production.
game by the time that it came out. So
Yeah.
so anyways,
Well, we're doing our part to explain the game to anyone who may be interested, at least.
Yeah.
Because this game, and I haven't played it myself, but I've seen one of our good friend who is like big on these kind of games, and he streamed it, and so I was watching him play the game. I won't no spoilers, okay, but there are a lot of hard choices in terms of gameplay and just questioning your morality. And I feel like it's a little heavy. This game, I mean, yes, it's just like a Japan thing. Like they'll make something really cute and then just be just like like this is super heartbreaking and hard and heavy. This game is not for the faint of heart. It is definitely extremely heavy. You have to make some tough choices. The gameplay is not exactly a walk in the park either. So I would say that might contribute to that. But I feel like it is a very worthy game. The what is it called? The illustration, the story, the gameplay, everything about it. It's a really good game. I would really put my foot on it if I had played it myself, but just through watching basically the entire playthrough, I was very impressed, and that's probably the only reason why I haven't really played it, because I watched the whole thing. So I was like, do I still want to play this after watching this?
I mean, you're kind of selling me on it, even though I kind of hate the darker side of RPGs where like things like permadeath exist. But I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
no, they're totally permadeath and definitely permadeath, and they're not hiding it either. It's
Yeah.
definitely permadeath. And you have no choice. It's not well, if I turn on this mode, there's no permadeath, or like, oh, if I played really well, there's no permadeath. No, you don't understand. Permadeath is there, and you have to choose.
Oh,
What are you
man.
gonna choose? How are you gonna choose?
It puts you in some rough situations. Then that sounds.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
little bit Three Houses ish.
I might need to check it out at some point. I've been
Three
meaning to
Houses
because
like
I've wanted to check out the game.
Mhm.
I just haven't, and I hate that. You know, sometimes
Mhm.
it's weird. I wanted to start this channel so I could play more games, and now it's like I'm playing way more games than I ever did before, but I'm still like now the number of games that I want to play has tripled, quadrupled, quintupled.
Mm.
It's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard.
Well, that's what I thought when I started Twitch. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna motivate me to play games. Yeah, I'm totally playing way more games, but I also have like a way longer backlog, so I
I
don't know
know.
if this is working out or not.
Doesn't work to play games if all you're doing is talking while you're playing those games, Baku. Come on, man. You gotta
Yeah.
actually play sometime.
No, I played them off stream, and then I go on stream just
To
to
just
like
talk
talk
about it.
about what I did.
I love it.
All right. So yes, again, more info to come for this game. We don't know when it's going to come out, what system, anything, but we'll stay tuned. We'll come back after the live stream for the first year anniversary when they give us more
Yeah.
information.
We'll
All
get
right.
you caught up here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Next up, we've got a indies game that I'm actually pretty excited about. Is called Mato Anomalies. It is a new anime style, their words, turn-based JRPG from the developer Arrowitz, that features traditional and futuristic aesthetics in a post-apocalyptic world. There will be two protagonists named Doe and Graham. Doe will focus on detective work and investigations, talking to people of this world and trying to figure out this mysterious happenings. Graham, on the other hand, the other protagonist will focus on like the battle system and the actual like going into the rift and fighting these demons. So let's take a look at the trailer because I think it looks gorgeous. I would like to see more. I'm intrigued, but
It's- That
yeah, I'm
description
not
has gained my
sold.
attraction or my
Yeah,
attention. Let's
Yeah.
Peggy 16.
16-year-olds only, guys.
Oh no. The art is the aesthetics
So
brilliant.
the way that
Yeah.
you told me that
So
the
apparently
game
this is like a new Shanghai, like which is a huge city in China. Right?
Okay, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like Blade Runner kind of setting where it's
Yeah.
future dystopia.
But this is Doe,
kind of.
and he's kind of like the detective guy.
Mm-hmm. So the way that you described this before kind of reminds me a little bit of Persona 4, where you have like the game separated into your combat section and your investigation
And that's
section.
Graham. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even the art is. I mean, the art looks amazing. If you're telling me
Dude.
that this is like the battle sequence, I am so down for this.
That does
This
look
looks
dope.
beautiful. Yeah. And it's like funny you said Persona because like I can see a little bit of influence on it.
For sure.
Like a lot of influence. What's the word? What's the right word? A little
Inspiration?
inspiration. Yeah, a
Mhm.
little. I can see a little inspiration there. They haven't said it, but I can kind of see it. Anyways, so this game is coming out sometime in 2023 on PS4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Switch, and PC. So basically,
Everywhere
no
but
reason to
mobile.
not display. Yeah, no reason to not play this if you are interested. Now, once we come closer to release, hopefully they'll show us more like battle trailers and what have you. But from what I've seen so far, and from like the the information that they have released, this is one to watch for me personally. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So after months and months of silence on the subject, Nintendo is actually making good on their promise of delivering Bayonetta 3 in 2022.
In 2022.
Wow.
Well, I know.
So this game was first announced back in 5 years ago on the day of our Lord of 2017. 2017, everybody.
Wow, I didn't even know that's how long ago that was until I like started researching and like, oh, when did they announce it? Because it feels like forever ago. Yeah, it was 2017 when they first said Bayonetta 3. That was 2017.
Man, isn't that nuts?
It is. Yeah.
Do you want to take a look at this trailer?
Yes, please.
Peggy 16.
Uh-oh, 16 again.
No, not the 16 again.
More new faces, I see.
Oh. God, she is gorgeous as ever. And so extra.
You mean those weren't your playmates?
Those things ain't from Paradiso or Inferno.
I think Bayonetta is like my favorite character in the game that I've never played.
In other words,
I've never played a Bayonetta either,
Yeah.
but
One of my friends.
She definitely leaves an
huge
impact.
Bayonetta fan.
A bit of
Yeah.
fancy dress is in order.
I lied. I play a little Bayonetta, Bayonetta 1, but I didn't get very far just because I haven't had time to dive in. I've been meaning to do it.
one by one, they'll get their hands
it's kind of interesting how Bayonetta has solidified itself as like the pinnacle of this sort of genre of video game,
Yeah.
because I feel like it originated with. I mean, there was a bit of God of War. There was Devil May Cry. I think that really kind of started things in this direction. But Bayonetta has like become the breakout superstar in only 2 entries so far.
Yeah.
This world is under my protection.
You got this like giant like monster battle, which obviously you have in God of War.
They're homunculi. Man-made bioweapons.
Look, we don't have time. If we don't stop them, this world
You know,
is
this may
history.
very well be the very last what is it called? Platinum
Games
game that
of this
is in
style.
live service.
Scientist
Yeah.
named Sigurd. He's somewhere
Yeah.
I really have no faith in Platinum Games coming back to do these sort of games anymore with this current president. So yeah, it's unfortunate because they're so they're like just legendary for this kind of thing, and they're just kind of dropping it all to do live service games.
I mean, there was
know.
also that other game that Platinum was involved with that's taking a long time.
Oh yes, well they're already done with their portion. So
Yeah, so
it's
that's-
the Grand Blue
That's
Fantasy.
it, Relink.
Grand Blue Fantasy, yeah, Relink. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this is like platinum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is not even like not oh we just did the battle. Like no, this is platinum. Nintendo funded, but platinum.
Dude, that looks dope.
Yeah. I see someone say Astro Chain is good. Look, no spoiler. Okay, Mushy, I'm looking at you. I haven't played a game yet, but I've heard it's good. So yeah, I like platinum games. I like platinum games until they decide to. Well, and by they I mean the president decides to be like, oh, we're just gonna do live service games now because that's the future.
Yeah, I really hate.
They lost.
I
me.
hate when other people try to determine. I hate when companies try to determine the future of gaming instead of like allowing the market to kind of like indicate where it wants to go with the future of gaming. Like, sure, maybe at some point you need some people to pioneer new ideas, but when you have pioneered ideas and they do poorly, don't continue to like try to shove us down that hallway that you are, benefited by us going down. Like, figure something out for
Yeah.
yourself. Like
You know, like, so obviously Platinum Games worked with Square Enix to bring Nier Automata, which is kind of like super amazing and cool.
Mhm.
It is definitely one of the best collaboration the gaming, at least the JRPG space has ever seen. now that Platinum Games is moving towards live service and Square Enix wants to move to NFT, it's got this like unholy like
Oh, no.
matrimony happening, and I'm not here for that. So I don't know what that's gonna look like, but man, count me out already.
Well, here's something that it's going to look like in our near future here with Bayonetta 3. This
Yes.
game is going to feature a little something called the Naive Angel mode, which
Yes.
basically removes any level of risque elements, any sort of, some of the more boobyful aspects of the game, I suppose you might say, that you
Any
can turn on
skin.
and turn off, I guess.
Yeah. You can turn it on and off, and that's sort of like the big discussion that people are having right now with this naive angel mode.
Mhm.
I see. Okay, so here's my question, right? I don't know if this is a good compromise to appease these like sort of incessant like censorship advocates, let's call them. I don't know. I don't have any other like nice way to call these group of people who are just like everything is just too much skin. Everything is too much skin. And these people probably don't even play games
No.
anyways.
Yeah.
They don't. They just like to scream and yell, but they probably don't enjoy this medium. They don't play the game. They don't understand it. They don't try to understand it.
Somebody who's that
Um,
puritanical, I think, doesn't really probably enjoy shooting a bunch of monsters with guns, and that's probably not something that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, obviously, for anyone who's here who's been playing games for the last decade, you see a change from PlayStation, which is supposed to be for the more mature audience, scaling back and censoring basically everything they can, while Nintendo, which is really known to be like friendly, like
Mhm.
suddenly just expanding and being like, oh yeah, sure, show some skins, why not? It's so bizarre. If you told
is
me this
so-
like 10, 15
I
years
know.
ago, I'd be like, yeah, you're crazy. Nintendo would never do this.
Dude,
And
imagine this on the
PlayStation, oh
GameCube
yeah,
era. Imagine
right? That'll never happen. Nintendo would never allow a mature game on their console. Get out of here. Yeah, no. But wow, what a weird time we live in. What a weird time we live in. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, do you think this is a good compromise? Because
I
on the
mean,
one hand, you
Mhm.
know, you are giving them an option, so we still get what we want, which is no censorship, and just give like the snowflakes their opportunity to turn off whatever element that they find not satisfactory to their moral standards, right? But on
I
the other
must
hand, I
say,
feel like we're giving in, right? So I
a
don't know.
1,000 years ago, I made a video talking about censorship.
Mhm.
A
I
1,000 years
remember
ago.
that. I
And
remember that video.
and in that video,
Mhm.
I suggested exactly this as a sort of compromise.
Really?
So to not endorse this at this point would kind of make me a bit of a hypocrite, wouldn't it?
There you go.
I feel obliged to say that this is a great idea because it is mine. And I'm glad
right?
I'm glad to see that people are embracing the future of video games being made as the artists envisioned, and and those who just cannot bear the thought of the female figure, I guess, can put in whatever cheat code they need in order to allow themselves, to stay to keep their eyes nice and pristine and
It's never the
unfettered
male
by.
figure, by the way. It's never the male figure, by the way. You can have dual, like bare chested, okay, fighting, and no one will even bat an eye. But sure, okay.
Okay, so April Fools a couple of years ago, Pro Jared put out a video called well, it was actually at first it was called Top 10 Boobies in Gaming, but when you clicked on the video, it said boobies suck. Let's talk about dicks. It's just top 10 dicks in gaming. It was
Oh,
hilarious. He eventually changed the title when it was no longer April Fools, but it was pretty epic, I gotta say.
Yeah.
So if and I guess now that those 10 games must be on the Nintendo Switch if he was going to make a follow up, huh?
Yeah, man. So yeah, they are, here's the other thing that I wonder about, but let's talk about the regular edition.
Mm-hmm.
They are releasing also the regular edition. Let's see. Yeah, so sorry. Well, I was gonna say they're releasing the regular edition, which is available pre-order right now.
Yeah.
But the limited edition is also sold in the Nintendo store exclusively. Does that remind you of a certain situation that we were just in like about 2 weeks ago? Do you remember a certain game that has the limited edition that's sold only through the Nintendo store? Are you sure?
I'm drawing a blank.
Is that not real? It's Xenoblade.
Xeno Warrior Princess?
Xeno Warrior.
Was it that one? No. Okay.
You were close. You were close. No,
Okay.
It's the Xenoblade Chronicles 3, one such JRPG that no one knows about, of course.
So Nintendo is
Yeah.
continuing their limited editions, doing the same
From
old
the
song and
Nintendo
dance.
store.
Very interesting.
So let me tell you guys a funny story, right? Let me tell you a funny story, Mr. Derek. So during the pre-show, I was telling you that one of my friends is like super into Bayonetta, and I've never played Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Now, the day that, which is by the way, at that point, the second time that Nintendo tried to drop Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in their store. Okay, the first time was a colossal failure. It was all over the news. Well, gaming news, anyways.
Egg on their
People
face
were
for sure.
complaining nonstop on Twitter. Okay, so they tried it again, and let's just say that it wasn't exactly successful. It was still like crashing, but finally I managed to get a copy.
Mm-hmm.
But that day I was supposed to go have dinner with that friend.
Yeah.
And I had to cancel because I'm like, look, I'm camping this site. I'm still waiting. I'm still loading, like just constant refresh.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting on that page, that god awful page that they make me wait at, just to turn out that page, because it has to do with your cookies.
Yeah.
If you don't clear your cookies, you can't get to the site that
Because it
you
caches
now can buy
the page that is not working. Oh no.
Exactly. So I had to go and I tried a different browser.
Uh-huh.
Thankfully, I had the foresight to try a different browser.
Yeah.
Tried a different browser, got it immediately, skipped that waiting page.
Oh.
That waiting room, skipped it. Yeah. But had I used that original browser, it would just keeps on sending me to that loading page. But that waiting page will not take me to the store page. It was supposed to be a line, right? Yeah. Thanks a lot, Nintendo. Anyways, and then I threw it on Twitter. Thankfully, I got a couple other people who read my Twitter who did the exact same thing, cleared their cache, went straight to the link and got the game, because the waiting room was cached. So they kept going to the waiting room that will never take them to buying like the page to buy the game, right?
My God, that is such a bad design choice.
I know. For a giant company like Nintendo, you would expect them to do better. So welcome to part 2 of this, because it is now Bayonetta's turn. So the funny thing is, now that friend's gonna have to wait there and camp that site. And I'm like, look, good luck. You know, that time that we had to cancel dinner plan, congratulations. You'll now have to do that, because she's super interested in getting that limited edition for Bayonetta 3.
So it sounds like they might be like a way to kind of to benefit the system, I guess, for everybody who's doing this now. You might be behooved to try using incognito mode, I guess, in order to prevent the storing of cache.
Well, see, I don't know, because
Maybe, or maybe it's per session though. So you might be cached, but you might have to reopen your browser or something. I don't know. Never mind. Disregard.
Yeah, but
just have 10 different browsers available to you and just switch between them.
Well, the lessons learned for me is, have one browser that waits, have one browser that don't go there at all. And then that browser will be used to clear cache every now and then and try again. That's my that's my recommendation. Yeah.
Oh, actually, here's a real pro tip for you. To reload a page without the cache, hit Control F5 on your keyboard.
Oh, I
That'll-
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a little tech support pro tip for all you guys out there.
Oh wow, there you go. I actually didn't know that. Yeah.
It's
But yeah,
super
just
secret.
keep that in mind if you guys are trying to get that Bayonetta 3 limited edition.
So yeah.
But regular edition, that's already available. Go get it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so we'll move along here.
Well, one last piece of information. Yes, so this is going to be interesting for some of you. Now Bayonetta, the first game, is actually only available on the Switch, digital.
Mhm.
The second game, of course, is in physical and digital, and now the third game. Well, in related news, Nintendo said that they're going to release the physical version of the first Bayonetta in September 30th. So if you want like the trilogy in physical, in physical form, you can now do that.
Cool.
Yeah, whereas you
Finally.
couldn't before. So yeah, congratulations to like Bayonetta fans who just really want all three games on the Switch. You now can do that.
The last time you could do that was on the Nintendo Wii U, where they had Bayonetta 1 and 2, and because it was the only way you could get Bayonetta 1 on Wii U, you had to like spend, like people were scalping it for like hundreds of dollars. So
Oof, man.
crisis
Yeah,
averted
but
there, I guess.
Congratulations for anyone who hasn't done it yet.
Oh man.
All right. So that concludes all of the new games that's coming. Are you excited about any of these, Mr. Derek?
Yeah, I thought that Mato Anomalies looked actually super cool. I keep wanting to say Mato, like it's short for tomato. Good old Mater
Tomato Anomalies.
Mater Anomalies.
You know, the developer could be watching this.
They might be. I hope it's Mato. I'm assuming it's Mato, but it's yeah. If they're watching, make sure to just add the apostrophe before Mato, so that we all know for sure that it is in fact Mato Anomalies. It's about mutated tomatoes.
I think you just gave the entire story away.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the twist, but well, now they have to rewrite the entire script. Thanks a lot, Super Derek.
My bad.
All right, let's move on to some industry news. That's what you guys are here for. Nintendo buys Dynamo Pictures Animation Studio, which, according to a Nintendo's press release, the company will be acquiring this Japanese-based Dynamo Pictures, and is expected to cost $250,000 which is
that's not that much.
I had to do a double take. I'm just like, you're buying a studio for $250,000?
I mean,
$1,000?
I feel like why well, I must be missing something.
Yeah, no, I was like, you mean $250 million? Like, no, $250,000.
It's a very inexpensive production company.
Like I can theoretically buy that. Like it costs less than my house. I mean, sure, it's gonna. No, I mean, yes, it's gonna take me a couple, like maybe a decade to pay it off, but that's within like my personal
you could have taken out a payday
capability, which is insane. Like anything these companies buy should not be affordable to 99% of us, right? We're not Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
But $250,000,
that's like within spitting distance of a lot of people.
Yeah, so I'm just like, how is this possible? But anyways, I did a double take. It's $250,000. But again, if it turns out it's more because for some reason, then it's what it is. But at least at this point, that's how much it costs. Now, should the acquisition continue as planned and successful, the sale will close in October of this year, and Dynamo Pictures will be renamed Nintendo Pictures and focus on their first-party IPs. Now, Dynamo Pictures, most of you probably have never heard of it. I have never heard of it until today. But actually, this is a small company with a lot of pedigree. So it is credited for their work in Demon Slayer Mugen Train, which is a huge blockbuster anime movie last year.
Okay.
Probably the biggest. Yeah. Demon Slayer Mugen Train was a big deal. Rebuild of Evangelion films, again, big deal. CG animation for King's Glee, Final Fantasy 15. That was actually the only part of Final Fantasy 15 that I liked.
Oh.
Was that movie?
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that movie before I played the game, and I was like, "Yo, this movie is so good! I'm so hyped for 15." And then I play 15. I'm like, "Wow, it's nothing like the movie."
Okay.
They've also done motion capture for Monster Hunter Stories, which you guys have definitely heard about. Near Replicant, Persona 5, and Death Stranding. So they have worked on a lot of things that you probably touched and felt and played and just, never knew that they were involved. So this
How
is
was
Nintendo's latest purchase.
How was this only $250,000?
That's what I'm asking. How is it possible that you bought a studio for $250,000? Like, was there like 2 employees? Like, are they just like super workers? Like, how is this possible? I don't know. But that's what they wrote. So, that's what it is. And watch, I find out later that, it's actually like 25 million.
That would make way more sense.
A lot more sense. Yeah. But like verbatim, it was 250,000. I don't know.
Wow.
So.
What? I'm super curious now about why that cannot be right. Who was the source of that? If I might ask?
Well, it's 34.5 million yen is in the release paper. So there is actually a Nintendo press release which is in the docket, and they said that it cost right. Yeah, so it's 34 million yen, which is about $250,000. It's like, I don't know. That's what they said. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. $246,000. That's
actually even less than that, right?
Yeah.
Like, how's that possible? Yeah, listen, I was dumbfounded when I read that too. And I've checked like 2, 3, 4 sources and they all say 250. So whatever. Look, if it turns out that in all these places misreported, then it's not just us. Don't get mad at me.
I mean, hey, if it came from Nintendo's mouth, then I mean, I'll believe them. But
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's in their official press release. I read the official press release just to make sure.
Hey, anybody out there want to buy an animation studio? Just know.
$50,000.
Just throw this out there. You could own one for as low.
Could.
That's like investment property, like investment money.
Yeah. It's just like, what?
Wow. Okay. I mean, it sounds like a solid choice. If those are the things that they were involved in, it seems like they've been doing really good work and have been pretty low key, I guess. But
yeah, but think about this, right? Think about this. That Terra statue, that's 12,000.
Oh wow, you could buy 20 Terra statues with this money,
or a studio.
120.
I don't know. Tough choice.
Wow.
Really puts things into perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's 12,000 without shipping.
That's true. It costs extra for the shipping.
Yeah, that shipping is going to cost you. All right, so let's move on to the next piece of news with Sony. So Sony announced that they will be launching a new loyalty program called PlayStation Stars, which will allow players to earn rewards by doing monthly check-ins, playing games on the PlayStation platform, and by completing special campaigns like certain tournaments, for example. Loyalty points can be used to redeem PSN wallet funds, so can add towards buying the game on PlayStation Network, selected PlayStation Store products, and most notably, digital collectibles. Now, in an interview with the Washington Post, that's right, we went to the Washington Post for this one, Sony Entertainment, the Vice President Grace Chan, said that the collectibles are digital representations of things that PlayStation fans enjoy, including figurines of beloved and iconic characters from games and other forms of entertainment, as well as cherished devices that tap into Sony's history of innovation. Said, that is so corporate speech, is not even funny. But there you go. That is the Sony Entertainment Vice President for you, right? Yeah. She also goes on to say that collectibles are definitely not NFTs. Just really put her foot there. It's like, definitely not NFT. So all the guys who are like, oh, is it NFT? No, she said it's not NFT.
I
just have to take her word's word.
That is where my mind started wandering. So I'm glad for the clarification. Um,
I like you know what, I respect that because she's so aware that
mhm.
that's the general direction. She's like, oh, by the way, not NFT, so just don't even go there.
Yeah.
Um, when the program launches, which they haven't said when, the membership will be free. So basically, if you are already playing games on the PlayStation Network, that's just something more for you to do. I don't think it's not gonna cost anything
Hmm.
to participate. So
It
we'll
sounds
see
kind of
how
like
that
Club
actually plays out.
Nintendo in a way. Then.
Yeah, basically. I think Nintendo and Xbox have something similar already. So it's just their push into that space. So, congratulations. More rewards for you folks.
All right. Well,
Yes.
interesting. So who had a really rough week this week?
Let me see.
I was gonna say me, but I think Kojima actually probably won. Well, maybe not Kojima specifically. I think
Yeah, maybe not Kojima specifically.
I mean, arguably there's at least one person who had a much worse week than Kojima. But
Yes. Mm.
okay, that was a pretty awful attempt to segue into this discussion, but
Yes.
we talked about this briefly earlier, or Baku gave us a brief overview, basically that the shortly after the assassination of former president, prime minister, or Japanese prime minister rather, Shinzo Abe, somebody on the internet on 4chan posted a picture of the assassin, and they put Kojima's face right next to the shooter, which
Yeah.
prompted another user to post 3 additional pictures of Kojima. One of them featuring him with a Russian trapper hat, and 2 others with Che Guevara, another, basically linking him to communist propaganda and such.
Yep.
Kind of like, oh, ha, 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 wouldn't this be funny? Let's make
Yeah.
our fake, just kind of like making their own fake
4chan
universe.
being 4chan.
4chan,
right?
exactly, doing
4chan
4chan.
being 4chan. Yep. Mhm.
So then, on the tails of this, a French comedian told those pictures, and they had those pictures, and they posted out on the Twitter as a satirical post. They thought
Yeah.
they were being satirical, but I guess that's the problem with Poe's law, right? You can, at a certain point, it's hard to tell if you're just
If it's a joke
if
or
it's
not. Yeah.
yeah, or if you're serious. So then a French politician by the name of Damien Reu, I probably
Well, that is the better pronunciation that I could ever get it to. But go on.
okay, retweeted that satire post and added, "The far left kills."
In French,
Mm-hmm.
by the way, which I am not pronouncing. And do you want
Yeah.
to give it a shot? Do you want to pull up the actual French and then see if you can pronounce it?
No, but basically they were implicating that Kojima was in fact actually the murderer without
Mhm.
doing their own due diligence.
Imagine politician checking sources. Just yeah.
Man. Well, at least I know it's not just I guess, I don't know. Is it a comforting thought to be like, oh, well, it doesn't just happen here in the United States? Anyways,
It is absolutely not comforting, but
I know it is not comforting, but because this tweet came from a politician, those images got picked up by Greek and Iranian news outlets, and they also used those pictures as the assassination coverage.
oh god, it was crazy.
So
Yeah.
Kojima just for looking sort of almost vaguely like this guy from this specific photo, just had
Mhm.
his entire name and visage plastered alongside the news of assassination of the Prime Minister of Japan, or former Prime Minister of Japan.
Former Prime Minister. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So okay. So a little story for folks who are not familiar with Japanese politics too, right? Shinzo Abe, yes, he's the former prime minister, but he is a giant in Japanese politics even after office. Okay, because even though he's no longer the prime minister, he's still the head of the largest political bloc. Like he's the leader of the largest political bloc, which is I think it's the LDP in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't understand that. Yeah. So imagine, for example, if you live in America, let me give you an example. If let's imagine that there is a political party in America that just dominates overwhelming amount of seats. And let's say that there is a person who is a politician, not holding office, but nonetheless is the head of this entire party. That's Shinzo Abe.
Yeah.
And he was just assassinated. And now Kojima, apparently, according to these Greek news network, is the assassin. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. So some people say that any publicity is good publicity, but I think Baku and I would probably agree that that is probably not the first thing on Kojima's mind right now. Because Kojima Productions has released a statement on Twitter that read, #Kojima Productions strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. We do not tolerate such libel and will consider taking legal action in some cases.
Some cases.
Yeah, probably in
apologize.
particular the ones that involved, news outlets and probably politicians who were
probably those.
who were spreading misinformation by, not doing their due diligence and just believing whatever they wanted to believe, I guess, and running with it.
So let me tell you something crazy, right?
Yeah.
So the said Greek news outlet, right, that had ran that story, they've since deleted their videos off the internet. But the internet being the internet, it's archived. So I went and actually watched the actual coverage. It's a real, just like imagine, like, I don't know, like BBC, British Broadcasting Company News, okay? Just running the story, national news, headline,
Just
right?
running
This
with it.
is the person who had murdered the former Japanese prime minister, and is Kojima's face.
It was
national
just
television.
Kojima's face, though, not his actual name tied to it, though. Is that correct?
No, it's not his actual name tied to it, but still.
They just,
I mean, come on.
but they
It's
still
those three
took pictures of
pictures.
Kojima. Those
Well,
three.
it's those three pictures. Yeah. So that's the crazy part. So someone took a picture of the assassin being pinned down and then just had like Kojima's portrait, like with like a little red arrow pointed to the assassin. That was supposed to be a joke, right? Okay. And then someone else posted those three pictures. The comedian took those three pictures. That's why that mattered.
Yeah.
The comedian took those three pictures with like the sort of like the communist imagery, and then posted that as a joke. And then the politician took that and retweeted it and said leftist kill because he's a far right guy.
Yeah.
So any communist imagery, oh, this is the killer. This is the guy who did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the national news picked up from that politician those same three pictures from 4chan and ran it as a national story. And now everyone sees Kojima's face being tied to the assassination
of this extremely
if that is
influential
not
political figure.
crazy, like, you got to understand the gravity of this.
Kojima's no good, bad, awful week.
Not very happy. Kojima's noticeably not amused.
Yeah, and he should be unamused. I hope that he is able to, see some sort of, I don't know if there's any getting justice for this, but I hope to see his name and image cleared, because I feel like that's going to be haunting him for a long time.
Well, they've all apologized, but you know how it is. Like, this is the thing with, like, jokes gone wrong. Like, people absorb like the shocking news, and then they take in that imagery. But then, like, these outlets, these politicians, these like people with like a giant megaphone, they will issue apologies, they'll issue like correction silently, right? That's not the loud part. The loud part is the misinformation, and then they're like backtrack silently. So if you catch the backtracking, great, but if you didn't, and when any legal trouble happens, they'll point, oh no, we totally apologize, we backtrack. Yeah, but that's too late, the damage is done. Right?
I gotta say though, this does have this ring of hilarity to it. Like, this sounds like the most green text thing to ever actually happen. You know, the
Yeah.
stories like "Be me, make video games for a living." President of the United States gets assassinated. Someone puts my picture on it. Now I'm on a wanted list. It's
Oh jeez.
like that sounds like the most like green text thing to actually happen IRL, and it's pretty great.
Right.
But
Just like, go ahead.
but that's the benefit of being disconnected from this. If I was Kojima, I would not be laughing.
No, no one should. I mean,
Mhm.
no one involved should.
Yeah.
And for all the folks who are like watching right now, just know this, right? All of us, I would think, knows what Kojima, who Kojima is, what he does. We do as gamers. The rest of the world, no idea. Some Japanese dude,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So and so they will just buy into this image. It's like, oh yeah, that's the killer. The news said so, right? Of course.
Yeah.
The rest of us are like laughing at this thing, like, oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, because we know who Kojima is, right?
Yeah.
So just remember that we are the elite few who knows of one such Hideo Kojima, and we will not be taken in by these fake news.
Yep.
All right, isn't that crazy? I just wanted to see your reaction. I added this whole thing just to
I mean,
see your reaction.
I mean, well, to be fair, I did already get this news by watching Weeb
Mhm.
Sauce, so I
Of course, we did cover that over there. Yeah.
So,
But everyone needs to know this. This is insane.
yeah, it is absolutely nuts.
Yeah. All right. Well, equally crazy news. Bandai Namco got hacked. And they're investigating. So, a hacker and ransom group known as Alpha, I believe, except the last A is turned into a V. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's just say Alpha.
I'm thinking Alpha. Uh-huh.
Alpha, yeah, claimed to have ransomed Bandai Namco, and now we have confirmation from the company that they have, in fact, hacked. Bandai Namco provided a statement to VGC and states that the affected region is limited to internal systems of several companies in the Asian region, excluding Japan. That means like Europe, servers in Europe and North America and elsewhere are probably unaffected.
Mhm.
It's just the Asian region, excluding Japan. The company also said that they are in the process of identifying the status, as far as the extent
Mhm.
of the leakage, the scope of damage, and also investigating the cost. Very corporate. If we can accept what they're saying as facts, the good news is most of us, if you have any kind of Bandai Namco account, chances are the hack does not affect you. It's mostly with the Asian region. There are some information about like their toys making partners that might have been leaked, but otherwise, no personal account information from outside of this said Asian region is compromised. At least, so they say.
That is what they say. But I was
say.
exactly gonna say that we've
Yeah.
heard similar stories from other people in the past. I think
That's
notably
right.
like
What, PlayStation?
Equifax, I think.
Oh God, Equifax. is
I know.
horrendous.
It was atrocious. Yeah. So I mean that's how it always kind of starts is it was this very minor, this very specific instance where these people, not you. You weren't hacked.
Yeah, you're fine.
And then you get an email 3 or 4 months down the line that says, actually turns out
Yeah, about
everything we
that.
know about you has been leaked, including your passwords. You've probably already been hacked. Your email address and everything's already been compromised. Basically, point is, if you guys have an account at Bandai Namco, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to reset your passwords anyway, just to be, on the safe side.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll see how this develops. This is a developing situation, I think, but we'll
Mhm.
see. All right, let's move on to some fun news. Xbox is having their unlimited game sale. Recently, we reported the sales on PSN, Nintendo Store, and the Steam, and now it is the Xbox fans' turn to buy all the games that you will not actually play. The sale will run from July 15th to the 31st, which is incidentally my birthday. Hi. So if you are an Xbox gamer, don't miss out your chance to increase the backlog yet some more.
Yay!
Yay!
Now, if only there were games on Xbox that I wanted to play that I didn't have everywhere else.
Now, if only I have an Xbox at all.
Touche.
I know, like I'm just like constantly laughing about it, but I'm sure there's at least a couple of you guys out there who has an Xbox and
There are
games on it.
And-
yeah, so there you go.
and
Like
it's
you
just
know,
friendly
the
ribbing.
sale's on.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah, don't take it. This is not a console war situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, play your games. But yeah, the sale's going on, so you've got about like half a month to make your purchases.
Yeah. I mean, hey, and to be totally honest, if somebody were to be like, "Hey, here's a Xbox, you know, a Series X," I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll take it. I would accept it."
Yeah, sure. If
Yeah.
if it's free, I'll take it. Yeah, why not?
Oh man,
We're terrible.
I know. And, man, why don't I ever
Yeah.
get free Xboxes? Oh well.
I know.
Come on,
Microsoft should
Microsoft.
reach out. Come
Yeah.
on, sponsor us. We'll say something nice about Xbox. Okay,
I was-
to be fair, Game Pass is like doing
It's
really
super
well.
solid, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would
So-
I would honestly, I benefit the most from that on PC, not on an Xbox. So
that is true. So
like everything that I would want to play on Xbox, I would rather play on PC.
and it's on Steam.
Probably.
Not the PlayStation Store. I mean, not PlayStation Store. I mean, Microsoft Store.
Mhm. I mean,
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
I don't mean to hate on Xbox this much, but it's just the things that they do get that I do want to play. I've already been playing on other platforms, and the things that that they have that I can't play on other platforms, well, I play on PC, and it's just one less thing to have to worry about.
I never understand their model. Like, what are you offering that is so exclusive that I can't do anywhere else? I mean,
don't-
I guess they have a lot of do they have any first party
They got a lot
games
of first person shooters, and that's just
Mm.
and that's a big market. It's just not my market.
It is a huge market. Yeah. Well, there you go. That makes sense now. Okay, so I'm just unaware. I'm like blissfully unaware of all the FPS. Oh yeah, the summer what is the game festival with all the space alien shooters, right? All those.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw them all. That was
Yeah, I was not
Something.
interested in any of those. You see one, you see all. For me, at least, I just don't have the palette for it. All
Yeah.
right, but you know what I do have palettes for? Figures. Because as you guys
figures.
know, figures. But as you guys know, I collect figures. They're like back there, and there are some more figures that I'd like to introduce to you guys. So I've talked about Pop Up Parade many times. You probably heard me say this umpteen times now.
Yeah, these are
And they are.
the kind of bang for buck brand of figures,
That's
right?
right. Yeah. From Good Smile Company, which is probably one of the largest, if not the largest, figure maker in Japan. They have just whipped up 4 Fire Emblem Three Houses Pop-Up Parade figures, which includes Edelgard, Bernadetta, Dimitri, and Felix. So for anyone who is a big fan of Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I think there are probably a lot of you, because Three Houses, in my recent memory anyways, is probably the like most high regard Fire Emblem in recent memory. So a lot of people really liked the characters in there, and the voice acting, the gameplay, everything. They just like really like the game. I have the game. I haven't played it yet, so no spoilers in the chat. Just I'm watching you. Now, Edelgard and Bernie will release in year, while Dimitri and Felix are slated for December. You want to switch over to my screen really quick, just so I can show off like kind of what they look like?
Absolutely, there it is.
Yeah. So this is Edelgard on Ami, which I've linked below. So again, pretty cool that they are doing this. Papa Parade just has like figures for all kinds of anime and games. This is Bernadette. Bernadetta. Yeah. Oh, Bernie.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's super popular. I don't. People really like Bernie. I have no idea why, because I have not played a game yet, but people love her. Let's see here. I think this is Dimitri, which is from like the Blue Lion, I
Mhm.
think. Lots of fans. I really hate his hair because it just looks like he hasn't washed it in like 5 weeks.
Hey, this takes place in medieval times, I think. So, I mean, running water
Yeah,
is
but he's like
scarce.
royal. Well, not royal. I mean, he's like a son of a duke or something. So like he's pretty loaded. I don't know, man. No.
So it's worth noting that all of these figures that Baku's shown that are 4,080 Japanese yen comes to about $30 US dollars.
Oh,
So that's
prior to shipping, anyways.
yeah,
but
prior to the
yeah,
shipping services and everything.
add like $10 to shipping. Let's just say so, like $40. It's
Best
just
to
not
bundle.
the end of the world. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not the end of the world. Especially if you order multiple and they ship the same time. Like you're gonna get a low shipping cost. So.
Yeah.
Definitely check those out. If you are a fan of Three Houses, I do highly recommend this particular series of figures from Good Smile Company. Now, there are no announcements yet, but based on the pattern, we should expect Good Smile Company to announce other prominent characters like I forgot how to pronounce this again. It's not Clyde. Is this Claude? Yeah, I think it's Claude.
Cloud, what?
Because it's French.
Oh, Claude.
Claude. Sure.
Like
the
Dirt
other
Claude.
house. The other house. There are 3 houses, right? So the Edo Guard is one.
Whoa,
and then
don't spoil it for me,
Dimitri's
Baku.
another.
Spoilers.
Is that that is not okay? You know what? If anything, that is not spoiler. And then there's Byleth. Byleth's the main character's name. There's a male and a female version, so chances are you're gonna get both. And also someone named Sothis is probably gonna be in the Horizon, which is a very prominent character in the game, no matter what route you take. So, given that we have characters like Felix and Bernadetta, we should expect these even more prominent characters to appear sometime, probably in the next 2-3 months. So,
Awesome. We will keep
right.
you posted for those in future episodes of Hit Point.
absolutely.
So before we wind down, we should probably take a look at some of the super chats that have been steadily streaming in here throughout the show today. So if you guys have any burning questions that you'd like to have read on the air, then do so through super chats. Otherwise, throw them in the comments after the ep, and we'll talk to you about them then. We got one from here from Francisco, who says that he bought Time and Eternity from the PlayStation Store, but didn't play it immediately. When I went to play it, it was removed, and they just said,
What?
And they just said, tough luck.
What?
Oof.
That happened? What? I'm sorry. The game is called what? Time and Eternity?
Time and Eternity.
I'm gonna look into this.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
That's a PS3
PlayStation had
title.
done something like that.
Yeah, it's a PS3 title, Time and Eternity.
I have seen this before a long time ago. I mean, I saw the waifus, and I'm like kind of interested, but I never played it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that cover looks familiar for sure, but
yes.
looking at the
It's like a
gameplay-
turn-based RPG.
oh,
Yes,
cool.
I'm pretty sure it's a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Yeah, I guess.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into this. This piqued my interest. Just because it's, I kind of want to know like what PSN, what are they thinking?
Yeah, that's rough. Okay. Well,
Oh.
we also got a comment here from our buddy Still Alive, who says, I don't know if
Hello.
you guys knew that, but there's an offline Dragon Quest X coming out in Japan only on September.
Yes, I
yeah.
do know that.
And
yes. Oh.
he says that I hope it does come out in the States. Maybe they'll do an offline version of Final Fantasy XI. What do you think?
You know, if they did an offline version of Final Fantasy XI, would be pretty interesting. But
That would be
I don't
how I would
know.
eventually play it.
right.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to start up I mean, with Final Fantasy 14, like I'm not going to be like, Final Fantasy 14 looks phenomenal, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spin
They're
up.
making way too much money on 14 to make it offline.
I know.
I'm
I'm surprised 11 is even still going, honestly. Or is it?
11? No, it's still going. It's still going. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, WoW is still going. WoW is still going.
That's true. But I
Yeah,
mean, with 14 going and like having all of the love from everybody at this point, you would think they'd be like, yeah, this is, maybe we should just, move everybody over from Final Fantasy 11 onto 14 with some sort of, I don't know,
See, that's the
bring
thing.
over
I
your
don't think they
items or something.
can. I don't think they can just like move them over. They're just so
I know it's so
drastically different.
I know it
right?
is, but you would think that they would try to like funnel people over that way so they could decommission the. I don't know. That would be what I would want to do personally. I think, but
I feel like as long as the income is higher than
the costs.
but the cost by like a margin,
Uh-huh.
then I would keep it going. Like it's gonna be at that point, it's a number game.
That is true. I mean, are they still developing 11? Like, are they still coming
That
out
I
with expansions?
That I don't know.
I mean, at
'cause
this point, I guess if
don't-
they're not, it's
yeah.
just free money, right?
Exactly. I don't look into MMOs, so I apologize. I'm not like,
Yeah.
familiar with MMOs, but yeah, I would think that from a business perspective, as long as there's a certain margin of revenue over cost, then just keep it going. It's just printing money. Are you really gonna pull the plug on it, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if it was
Yeah.
only printing like $1 million a year for a company like that, like Squaresoft's
Yeah,
or Square Enix's
that's
size,
$1 million.
like that's still $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm sure at some point they'll close it down, but again, WoW is still going.
I mean,
so-
RuneScape is still going.
RuneScape is still going.
And
let the people have their cakes. It's
yeah.
fine.
All
Yeah.
right. They can keep their cakes and
but-
party hats.
Exactly. But to answer the question, though, the reason we haven't talked about DQ tag, so I'm very aware that there's an offline version. The reason we haven't talked about it is because it's Japan only.
Yeah.
So most of you guys will not matter to you. And I try to talk about things that are going to be at
Directly
least like
impactful.
at least like a North American release, maybe like, or at least release, but like definitely not just like Japan release. That doesn't help you.
It does
Now,
seem
if
a
they're-
little weird that it isn't coming out in the West, though, I gotta say. Considering every other Dragon Quest game seems to make its
Right.
way over eventually, but maybe it will,
Mhm.
and maybe it just hasn't
No,
been
it
announced.
might. Yeah, and when that happens, we'll definitely talk about it. But until such time, if there are no good indications that it will come to the West, then I won't talk about it. One example, of course, is what is it? Trails in the Sky Kuro, right? 2.
Mhm.
We talked about it when they announced that there's absolutely no plans about going westward, but
Yet.
I will bet my money that they will, because all the other games did, and
Yeah.
they've shown that they're just going to talk about it later. So that's why I would bring those up. But if I have no, strong feeling that they would bring it over, then I'm just going to talk about it when they, do announce something. So stay tuned. But thank you so much for reminding us that that is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I feel like this offline game, if it doesn't come out in the West officially, there will probably be, if I know the fan communities out there,
Oh,
there will probably
yeah.
be fan translation patches that you can
Yeah.
apply. Maybe not built-in translations, but there are some applications you can run over top if you're playing on PC that can auto-translate with like Google Translate. It's not
Yeah.
ideal, but there will probably be options for those who really want to play it without
Absolutely.
Square Enix's accommodations.
Right? Yeah. No, absolutely.
So we got another one here from Bring Back Fluffy Dogs, who says, "Start
Hi.
your morning off right with Weeb sauce, one of the tastiest around. Brought to you by friends and family of Baku-san."
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm a little late on the next video, so now I know Derek's pain of just like pushing out videos. Now I get it. Before I'm just like, Derek, man, come on, man, get to work, man. Release those videos, man. What are you? Yeah, now I get it.
Yep.
Now I get it. Man,
So-
editing takes hours.
Oh God, I know. Bring Back Flippy Dogs threw out another here, says, "Derek, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, you're making me cry on the inside now. Xbox loves you." Xbox 360 loved us
Xbox?
for a brief moment in time when there was a big push to try to capture some Japanese gaming audiences. Heck,
They've
even the
given up.
original Xbox had Shin Megami Tensei 9. That's Nine. The Xbox has attempted a time or two to attract our attention with Japanese RPGs, but the games that they've put out have sometimes been really great. I didn't personally love Blue Dragon very much, but I've heard incredible things about what was it about Lost Odyssey from Mistwalker, right? I that's one of the games. That's one of the few reasons I keep around both of my Xbox 360s, one of which has a red ring of death, the other does not, but I can't be bothered to plug either of them in to find out which is which. I'm keeping them both for the time being, just so I have one when I do eventually get to Lost Odyssey. So it'll happen. And I'll probably also play Blue Dragon someday again, and maybe I'll enjoy it more the second time through. But yeah, Xbox has done a little bit of outreach, but it's always been like a short stint, and then they kind of give up again, right?
See, that's the thing that I don't understand. Again, as a console, right? Your whole shtick is first-person shooter, but first-person shooter, as we all know, is better on keyboard and mouse because aiming is just that much easier. I mean, I don't even play FPS, and I know that. Well,
Exactly.
I have played some FPS in the past.
Yeah.
So
I prefer my Fallout games and Oblivion and Morrowind and Skyrim. I prefer those on PC because of keyboard and mouse. Even I,
it's just that much easier.
the most console-based console gamer of them all, would prefer PC over Xbox when it comes to playing FPSs.
Yeah, so I just don't understand what they're trying to get at, but you know, I guess.
Wow, people in chat are really talking up Lost Odyssey. So,
Oh, well, you should get to it.
I should.
By the way, the official way to convince Derek to play a game is to shame him on Twitter. Like I know I keep saying this every hit point, but you gotta hit up
This is fact.
Super Derek on the Twitter.
I'm shameless everywhere else, but on Twitter, I do no shame.
So check in the description later for Derek's Twitter, and all of our social links will be in there.
We do have another one from Bring Back Fluffy Dogs, who says,
Hi.
Have you been cleared by PR to announce Breath of Fire 1 through 4 Remaster Collection coming exclusively to Xbox and Switch?
I don't know, Derek, have you?
I have not yet been cleared to announce such a thing. So unfortunately, for the time being, mum is the word. No, I legitimately have no idea, but I do hope that is actually one thing that came from my big Breath of Fire video, was a lot of people have really been wanting a collection. And I mean, it really does seem like the only thing that makes sense at this point, Capcom. I mean, you've already got Breath of Fire 1 and 2 on Switch, right? On the games as a service thing. So Breath of Fire 3 and 4, just bundle. I mean, it's emulation. It's super easy to do.
What system were 3 and 4 on?
PlayStation 1. Easy.
Oh,
easy peasy.
Yeah.
So it's
that should be easy.
SNES, PlayStation 1. I mean, as long as you have some of the source code, heck, you don't even have to make them HD remasters. You know, like I guess they with like Chrono Cross, they upscaled a lot of things, and that kind of you know, made it run not at a solid 60 like you probably could if you were just straight up emulating. But if you're just emulating, and I think that's all anybody really wants at this point from Breath of Fire is just do something. Just go on, you know, poke the series with a stick and just put it on a Switch. You could be at all four games, all four, 1 through 4, onto the smallest 4 gigabyte Nintendo Switch cartridge, and it would play them all perfectly, because each game has only one disc. They're all one disc games. So that's 756 megabytes each. That's
yes.
And then the SNES titles are like less than a megabyte each. So it's like, what are they even doing? It's just license an emulator and throw it on Switch. People would eat it up, and you could charge probably a good, if I had to guess, people would probably pay
40.
I would say some people would probably pay 60. The sweet spot probably would be 40.
Oh, yeah, 40 new. I would say, yeah, sweet spot.
Yeah. To maximize sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be so easy to do. So easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably not do it, but I could probably hack my Nintendo Switch and put on an emulator and play the games that way just as easily. So like, it must be easier for a corporation. Like it would be so simple. Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, we're all waiting for that good news, I think, and we're gonna come back to this one episode like maybe 5 months from now. We're like, didn't we say that this is gonna happen? Yeah, it totally happened.
Oh man, I hope you're right. I would
Also,
love
that
to
that
give a
is not
follow
from
up.
Capcom PR. Okay, just don't go. You see, we're gonna get misquoted again. For
That's
this.
right. We're generating
right.
all the misquotes. And then we got another one here from Francisco Lira, who started us off with their story about time and eternity that they weren't
Oh,
able to
okay.
redeem. So they said, yeah, it has been a really interesting art style and gameplay, but I think some licensing problem happened and they took it down. Also, no refunds.
Yeah. See, okay. So I know we're gonna dive away from time and eternity for just a second and just talk about like digital games in general, because like I've just got to remind everyone that when you purchase, and
Yeah.
it's a key word here, purchase, you're not buying, you're not owning anything, it's just a lease, right?
Yeah.
So they don't need to give you a refund. You leased it for the duration of time that they allow you to access this thing.
Mhm.
And if you can't get it in time, or you can't play it, that's too bad. It's exactly the same reason why I don't like mobile gacha games,
Yeah. Because
because it's
you
the
might
same
spend
thing.
a few $1,000s getting those exact waifus that you want in your gacha, right? But
Yeah.
by the time at some point in time they're going to shut down the servers, and all you will have is not even the NFT of your waifu to console you. You'll just have the memory, the faded memory
Right.
of the faded glory that was once your waifu collection. You know, it's
Oh,
just.
jeez.
I'm pretty sure that's all people really want in gachas, right? It's just the waifus. I'm pretty sure it's just a waifu collector.
Well, no.
All of them.
Some people
Don't
like the
correct me.
husbandos.
This is my headcanon at this point. There's no convincing
No,
me.
no, it's either waifus or husbandos. We got to be inclusive. We got to be.
Oh, that's right.
inclusive.
That is
Some people are just in it for the husbandos, and that's totally fine.
that is true.
I can name a couple of games. FGO, Fate Grand Order, which is based on the popular Fate series. That's huge with the waifu and husbando hunters. Genshin Impact, of course, is huge. Arc Knight, I think, used to be a lot bigger. It's a lot smaller now that Genshin's kind of taken over that space. So yes, I am highly aware of all these mobile games and all the gacha waifus, just because of my fandom and people posting things about it. I don't play any of these, but the point remains is that your time with these waifus and husbandos, that's a lease.
That's borrowed time, indeed.
It's borrowed time. So just keep that in mind.
All right, well, guys, it has been a pleasure to stream for you this evening, and I hope that you all had a wonderful time. If you enjoyed tonight's podcast, please be sure to give it a like on the YouTube video, or give it a like on whatever podcasting platform of choice you happen to be interested in listening to. By the way, thumbs up for my camera not dying today for a dang change. That was a whole.
Didn't you do a thing?
I
for
did.
it?
I 3D printed a bracket to hold a Noctua fan behind my camera just to keep it from burning out. Ah, and it works so far.
And it works.
Thank gosh. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah, thumbs up for that. And I guess we'll see you guys all next time. But before we do that, Baku, any closing thoughts that you'd like to leave with the people?
Yes. If you post anything, make sure to check your sources, because you're not going to want to end up having to apologize to Hideo Kojima later.
Indeed. I think he's all out of forgiveness to give. And with that, have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night.